Hello guys, welcome to a new video and hopefully this is going to be my last PowerPoint in which I'm not going to have a lab that go together. So I'm happy for that because I'm tired of just learning stuff without actually doing a lab because I learn more by just labbing this stuff. But this first section was all about um, learning and describing different stuff and there was nothing about labbing, so or configuring. So this is the last, like I said, this is the last PowerPoint in which we are not going to have a lab. So I'm glad for that because I was getting a little bit tired. So before I start with this 1.4 description network topologies PowerPoint, I'm going to go ahead and take a quiz that I created because if I do not know this stuff, why should I be teaching it, right? So if let's see how good I am with this stuff that I'm going to teach. If I'm not good enough, I'm just going to cancel this video. So let's go ahead and take this quiz for the network topologies. And I'm also going to provide you with a link where you can go ahead and take this quiz if you want to. So let's go ahead and what is the campus area network? Um, so it's a network of multiple interconnected local area network in a limited geographical area. So this is a little limited geographical area. So it's this one right here. Um, Platform as a service. It's a cloud computer model in which a third-party provider delivers hardware and software tools. Sounds good. And then the wide area network connects more than one LAN and is used for larger geographical areas. Okay. So the difference between a CAN and a WAN is that a WAN is for larger geographical areas, and CAN or campus area network is for a limited geographical area. I think I'm right. So let's put an A right here. So we have now multiple choice, a method of software delivery and licensing in which software is accessed online via subscription rather than bought and installed on individual computers. This sounds as software as a service, a facility used to house management information systems and associated components such as telecommunication and storage system. That sounds like data center. Now, true or false? Method that provides network resources such as for storage and um, allow the client to deploy software and add network components such as firewalls. Software as a service, that's false because that's infrastructure as a service. It is often thought of as being the smallest of the, small businesses. It is privately owned and operated business or individuals who are self-employed, and that's also false. Let's see how we do. Oh, look at that, 100%. Of course I got 100%. I made this quiz and I know this stuff. So since I know this stuff, let's go ahead and um, do this PowerPoint for you guys. And we're going to describe some network topologies. And we are still on the section 1, but this is the section 1.4 and it's describing network topology. So let's see how we do. The first network topology that we're going to describe is a campus area network, which is a CAN, and it's a network of multiple interconnected local area networks in a limited geographical area. Limited geographical area. Okay, just remember that. It's smaller than a wide area network, a WAN, or a metropolitan area network. They are mostly used in universities or corporations with multiple buildings in the same area. And the benefits of having a campus area network, it is because it is cost effective, um, wireless versus cable, and multi-departmental network access. So it provides all those benefits. And here is a picture that I stole from IT Pro TV. And if you don't have an IT Pro TV account, go ahead and check them out. They have a good CCNA Security um, course that I'm actually taking. And I'm also taking their pictures, as you can see right here. And he was describing this campus area network that he drew. And as you can see right here, we have different buildings, and the buildings have switches. As you can see right here, this is our like the access switches, and then we have this layer 3 switches right here that acts that do the inter-VLAN routing because they're layer 3, so they can do layer 2 and layer 3 stuff. So they are actually using for inter-VLAN routing. And on these switches that are inside the buildings, this is where you have to configure, or you should configure ACLs, VLANs, and port security so that not every single computer can just go ahead to the break into the network um, area and just plug in their computer and hack into your system. Okay, and where you have to configure the zone-based filtering rules is at the firewall. And if you guys remember, the zone-based or the zones are the DMZ, which is where you host your servers like DNS or HTTPS server, and then we have the public side, which is the untrusted one. So you want to have the untrusted on this side, because that's the public network. And then the other zone that we have is a private network, which is this one inside. So you can describe your zone right here as a private. Then we have the public, and then over here, if you have servers hosting either storage or DNS, you can have it over here for your DMZ. So let's go ahead and move on. And then we have the 1.4b, which talks about cloud and wide area network. And a cloud networking is a term describing the access of networking resources from a centralized third-party provider using a wide area network or a WAN or internet-based access technologies. And that's if you, I think you can do this with AWS or Amazon. You can do a cloud networking with Amazon, and then they can provide you like a firewall, and you can um, configure your firewall over there and all that good stuff. And in cloud networking, the network can be shared as well as the computing resources. This saves an organization from expending physical resources, right? So you don't have to buy a physical firewall. You can just rent it from Amazon or Microsoft or Google or any of those resources, right? And then one connects more than one VLAN and is used for larger geographical areas. Remember, a WAN connects larger geographical areas, and a campus um, network area um, connects limited geographical areas. WANs are similar to a banking system where hundreds of branches in different cities are connected with each other in order to share their official data. A WAN works in a similar fashion to a LAN, just on a larger scale. Typically, TCP/IP is a protocol used for a WAN in combination with devices such as routers, switches, firewalls, and modem. And here is a cloud. It's like a cloud networking, right? Where, as you can see over here, you have um, your private network over here, and you connect to resources on the cloud. And these resources, as you can see right here, it looks like you have a DNS server or a storage server, and then an HTTP server hosting your website. Um, Over here, you can have another server using for storage, and then you have, or you can use this for storage over here. But this is how um, I stole this picture also from IT Pro TV. I have to give him credit. It was a good drawing, so I took it from there when I was taking the course, the CCNA Security course. And there's a good network over here that shows how the cloud networking actually works. And now moving on to the 1.4c data center. And data centers are often served by communications networks that help to aggregate data and allow them to flow through the system. This can be done in many ways, and some models have emerged from data center topology. For example, some um, follow tree-based topology, including what is called a three-tier data center. If you remember that from your CCNA, if you took your CCNA, I mean, you should have your CCNA if you're watching this video, because this video is for CCNA Security. And this three-tier data center network with three layers, it was just access, aggregator, and then core. A FAT3 architecture is related to this general model. It contains UCS server, voice gateways, CUCM servers supporting the voice over IP environment. The entire data center is protected by firewalls at the edge that filters all traffic ingressing and egressing the data center. And here's another picture that I stole from IT Pro TV. Thank you guys for the picture. And here's how a data center topology could look like. And as you can see right here, at the bottom we have all the servers, and then we have the access switches where you can configure port security and VLAN if you want to use VLAN. And then we have our aggregating switches where you have a little bit of less security because what you want there is to move traffic as fast as you can. So it can be out to the core switches, and then the core switches will send it out to wherever the data needs to go. And now moving on to the 1.4D, which is small office or home office or SOHO, as a lot of people call it, and it is often thought as being one of the smallest or small businesses. It is privately owned and operated businesses or individuals who are self-employed, and it also could be just your house where if you go to if you have Verizon, right, they provide you with a modem, and you can use the modem, and then you can add a router, and then a firewall, and then a switch, and then you can add your computer, right? And here's a picture that I stole from Google. This is not from IT Pro TV. So as you can see right here, you can have the cable modem, which could come from Verizon, Comcast, or any of those internet service provider or ISP. And as you can see right here, you have a cable modem and the internet. The cable modem is the one that provides you access to the internet or the wide area network. And you can add a Cisco router right here, and then a firewall if you want also, and also a switch. So it depends how it is, but it's often just a computer connected to a router and a modem, or just directly to the modem. It doesn't really matter. But at my house, I have a Cisco router, and I have a 5506X firewall coming to me tomorrow, and a 5505 firewall coming to me tomorrow. So I'm going to be playing with those bad boys over the weekend. But remember, on Sunday is Mother's Day, so I won't be playing with my firewall on Sunday because it is going to be um, my wife's first Mother's Day, so I have to take her somewhere nice. Okay, going back to the topic. So moving on to the 1.4E, which is network security for a virtual environment. And over here we have different virtual environments. The first one is software has a service. Then the other one is platform has a service, and infrastructure has a service. And software as a server, there are plenty of well-known applications that you are using on a daily, like Dropbox or OneDrive, and more and more that deliver services over the internet. Users can access them through an application or the web browsers thanks to APIs. The advantage of using software as a service is that it is multi-platform approach where users can access their data on different devices. And I believe this is the case of Microsoft Office 365 that we have where I work, and I can access that either on my computer, and I can also log in from my phone and get access to my emails and all of that. And then we have PAS or platform as a service, and it is a cloud computing model in which a third-party provider delivers hardware and software tools, usually those needed for application development to users over the internet. A platform as a service provider hosts the hardware and software on its own infrastructure. Okay, and then we have the IaaS, which is infrastructure as a service, and this is a method that provides network resources such as for storage and allow the client to deploy software and add network components. So on this one, you can actually they give you everything on the cloud, everything you need. They give you virtualized computers, um, they give you storage, they give you DNS if you want. They can give you a website if you want to host a website. So everything they give you everything. All you have to do is actually just configure on your own. Okay, and you provide your own security, and vendor protects others from you. And here is a picture, and this picture was another one that I took from IT Pro TV. Thank you, IT Pro TV. I love you guys. I love your content on your website. I'm gonna keep subscribing. I'm gonna keep my subscription because you guys have good, really good content. So here's how any of those services work. So what they do is they have a server over there. Let's say this is the Amazon server, and from here you can launch different computers by using a hypervisor, either a Hyper-V and Hyper-V, I believe, is for Microsoft, and ESXi is for VM, and XC Accent Server, I think that's for Google. I'm not sure, or Oracle. I cannot recall. But from the hypervisor, you can launch different VMs. Like you can see right here, this one has an OS, so you can have a computer over here and a computer over here, and then you can launch another virtual machine, having like um, your website. Then you can launch another one having your DNS, or another one having like a storage and all of that. And as you can see, this sits on the hardware, which is this server right here. And what this does is actually um, it uses all the server resources like CPU, RAM, and all of that. And from this server, you can actually have RAM, all the RAM you want, the CPU you want, all the storage you want, and all the networking you want. All you gotta do is just pay money for it. And a lot of companies are doing this right now, where they just buy cheap computers and have everything hosted on AWS or Microsoft or Google, and just this is how companies are doing it because they save a lot of money on hardware since they don't have to have their own firewall, they don't have to have their own routers and all that. They don't have to spend a lot of money on that because remember, um, physical devices that tend to break, and to replace those are really expensive, and more if they are Cisco components, right? And then a summary, we are done. We went over what a campus area network is, which is multiple LANs connected in a limited geographical area. And then we have WAN, which is multiple LANs connected in a larger geographical area. Data center is a facility that hosts large servers for voice over IP, storage, or whatever you want. Software as a server hosts software and licensed applications such as OneDrive, or what was the other one? Or Microsoft Office 365, which has OneDrive. And platform as a service provides you with the software and hardware power. Infrastructure as a service gives you everything you need: firewall, storage, um, DNS, everything you need is in an infrastructure as a service. And this is it for this video, guys. And if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and follow me on Twitter. I post plenty of stuff on Twitter. My Twitter account is CCNA Daily Tips, so go ahead and follow me. If you don't have a Twitter account, you should have an email. If you have an email, then you can have a Twitter account. Go ahead and create a Twitter account, and then after you create that Twitter account, you go ahead and follow me, guys. So this is it for this. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.